Every week, Moral Maze, we call it, issues of life, sexuality, morality, and there's so much going on, ain't there? And Jack Fonseca is back from the East, from Campaign Life Coalition. Welcome back to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Glad to be back.
You look very fresh after such a long journey. What is it, 12 hours?
Well, it's a 28-hour journey.
28 hours?
The flight was 14.
Oh, the flight's 14.
Yeah,
okay,
but,
well, I wasn't
all the travel in between, it adds up to a long time.
When I said 12, probably 20.
Yeah.
Well, let's begin with good old tolerance, you know. United Kingdom, and there's another story which we can talk about tomorrow, which is, but that's another political one, people losing their foster children. UK court favours man being demoted for a Facebook gay marriage criticism. What's all this about?
Well, this poor man, a 55-year-old father of two, had a job as a manager at this housing company in Britain.
Yeah.
And there's a battle. They're trying to legalize homosexual marriage in Britain. Yeah. And he, on his personal time, on his personal Facebook account, he posted his support of the true traditional definition of marriage. Yeah. So he found himself investigated by the company's board of ethics. They found him guilty of gross misconduct.
And the phrase, I think, was, gay marriage is an equality too far.
Yes.
They were the words.
Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly Hitlerian, is it?
No, not at all. He's not advocating violence. He's expressing his view that marriage is between a man and a woman, and it's perfectly within his right to do so. But they ended up, his company considered, actually the inquiry said he should be fired. They said, well, due to his long record of service, we're going to demote him from a manager, and he's going to have a 40% pay cut. So
he's 55-year-old
man.
55, two children. He's worked for how many years at the company?
I'm not sure exactly.
More than 20 years?
I think so.
And we're not going to fire you. We're going to cut your salary by almost half.
And demote your position. Because
on a private site, he said, I don't agree with same-sex marriage.
Right.
Good God.
Well, this shows the intolerance and the persecution and tyranny that's coming out of the push for same-sex marriage. Back in Canada in 2005, Bishop Fred Henry from Calgary, he warned, and it turned out to be a prophetic warning, he said the push for same-sex marriage will usher in an era of intolerance and discrimination like we have never seen before. Yeah. And it's turned out to be true. In England, as we're seeing in the case of this poor man, and in Canada even, where Damien Goddard, very similar situation, tweeted Rogers Sportsnet broadcaster, was fired for tweeting his support for traditional marriage.
Well, fired allegedly for tweeting that. He was certainly fired. There are so many examples of this. And this has nothing to do with the gay community where he was working. I mean, this is, if you're working for an organization to support same-sex marriage and you tweet that you disagree with it, I can see there could be a problem. There's a clash, but this is merely an opinion. This has happened throughout the UK. And you have this idiot Prime Minister in Britain, David Cameron, who says, I support same-sex marriage not in spite of being a conservative, it's because I'm a conservative. What he really means is, I support it because I went to Eton, incredibly expensive elitist school, where half my friends were gay. That's why he supports it. And even, although what is happening, there's 118 Tory MPs, including gay Tory MPs, have said, we're not backing you on this. Yeah. I mean, there's a gay Conservative MP who said, why are you doing this? We don't even want it in the gay community. Why are you pushing this?
Well, if there's any Brits watching this program right now, or British expatriates in Canada, lobby the government, contact the government, tell them to abandon this because it brings persecution and tyranny.
All right. Casey Legler, I am the only woman modeling exclusively as a male. Sounds like my life. What is that, please?
Well, the high fashion industry has shown once again that it's lost its mind. So they've got this woman, Casey Legler, who they've given a contract for her to model men's clothing, just men's business suits and those horrible-looking baggy jeans with the saggy asses.
Really? They still fashionable? Why?
Well, it's obviously not to market the products because she's not convincing at all. If you look at the photos, she looks like a woman.
There's a photo there. Yeah.
And so I think it's Forbes, the legendary Forbes modeling agency, is simply trying to push the envelope again. They're contributing to this push to normalize transgenderism in society through pop culture, of which they're a part.
Well, there was a very strong theory that the reason that so many models, beautiful but very flat-chested and very thin and clothes designed to accentuate, was that there were a lot of gay men designing, and this was what they found appealing. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was certainly a strong theory put forward. It could be more sinister. We're trying to say to people, there's no such thing as difference.
Yeah, she said, I'll give you an example. Casey Legler said herself, she said, what I wish is that we can arrive at a place where nobody judges whether you wear a dress or a pair of pants, because how we define men and women just limits us. And what she's saying is we need to abandon all principles, all guidelines, because they limit our freedom. And that's absurd. I mean,
I think Casey Legler should be defined. I mean, obviously she's an intellectual. She's, professor of physics at Oxford. So I do want to hear.
but we're bodily creatures. Our bodies tell us that we're either male or female. You either have the plumbing or you don't. And even in the case of sex mutilation surgery, you still have an XY chromosome if you're a man, an XX if you're a female. So there's no changing
that. We don't judge a woman if she wears a dress or pants. That's entirely up to her. We judge people by their actions. And if a man dresses as a woman, he's not saying, I'm comfortable like this. He's saying, I want to make a statement, and vice versa. It's more of it's more complex, less specific with women, because it clearly depends what they're going to wear. But for a man wearing a dress is trying to say something. And if you want to say that, my response is, well, shut up, I'm not interested. But you are making a statement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Teen guilty of manslaughter, sentenced to go to church for 10 years. That's pretty harsh. It's in Oklahoma.
Well, as he won this teen won the sentencing lottery. I think it's much cushier a sentence than sitting in a jail cell with a guy named Mo who wants to call you Sally and make you his girlfriend.
I'd say wear a dress, please. But a first-degree manslaughter car accident resulted in his friend's death. So it wasn't where he set out to kill someone, but someone died through his irresponsibility. But how can you make someone go to church for 10 years?
Yeah, it seems, I'm all in favor of church, and I'm a Christian. I believe that a personal relationship with Jesus Christ can change people if they take it seriously.
You can't force that, though.
No, you can't, and that's why I would have preferred to see a jail sentence. I think with drunk driving, sentencing is supposed to act as a general deterrent, not as individual rehabilitation. So this sentence lacks that general deterrence effect.
Mind you, I can think of a few churches where 10 years it would be pretty harsh punishment.
Well, and for the ACLU who's complaining about the sentence, it would be harsh punishment.
It would be. Although you could go to United Church and then you'd be made even more liberal. Just very briefly, as we end, we covered what happened in Ireland, where medical incompetence led to the death of a poor woman who was possibly having a miscarriage. We're not sure. It was used to then attack the abortion laws in Ireland. It had nothing to do with the abortion laws. It was medical incompetence. There's an official inquiry into this now, but it's being headed by
a radical pro-abortion activist.
It's government all over, isn't it? Even in Ireland, that's what they do.
Yep, a doctor by the name of Ratnam, something like that, has been appointed, and he's the president of a pro-abortion advocacy group, of who many members of the international abortion lobby sit on that group that he heads, including Planned Parenthood, the world's largest abortion provider. It's
hard to believe an inquiry into a tragic death, and we should have an inquiry. Who did this? Was it because of the abortion laws? Was it because of medical incompetence? Being headed by, if it was headed by someone who was radically pro-life, equally would say, well, hold on, are you balanced on this? But the other side, and that's fine.
Yeah, well, the fix is in. The government clearly is trying to give the abortion lobby what it wants, abortion on demand. And that's what's going to happen if this guy remains as the head of this inquiry.
Which is not the view of most Irish people. Even those who want some changes in the law do not want a full free abortion. But the views of the people, as we've seen with Rob Ford, by the way, apparently don't matter very much. Thank you as ever, and welcome back.
Thank you very much.